Hello anyone and welcome back to Three Hopes, where I think things are about to get kind of crazy. So we'll see how this chapter goes. I'm somewhat afraid.
Azure Gleam. A trick of the goddess.
Oh boy.
Central Adrestia is soundly defended under the command of Regent Ire. However, attacks from the Kingdom and Alliance erode the Empire's defenses in both the east and west. Amidst all this, General Randolph enlists a certain mercenary company to Adrestia's cause. Their forces stand to defend Hevring territory, the Empire's final bastion in the west.
Woohoo!
Let me get this straight. If they break through Hevring land, there'll be nothing to stop the Kingdom's army from rolling straight to the capital.
That's right. The seat of Hevring's power, Mazgus, lies east of here, past the bottleneck in the Agma Mountains.
I mean, are we not going back to take Garreg Mach? I thought that was the thing we were doing. Unless the Alliance is doing that while we're busy down here. I don't know.
It's essentially on Inbar's doorstep, the western gateway to the seat of power. Count Hevring and his men will make their last stand there. That is, if the Lions of Fargus can get through us first. And of course, we will make every possible effort to defeat them, for whatever that's worth.
Never a good sign when you're calling something your last stand.
Indeed. And we've lost far too many of our most formidable generals, including Marquis Vestra.
I'm sorry, what? Hubert? Is that you?
I've not the slightest idea what's befallen our forces at the capital, nor in the east for that matter.
Well, I guess lost doesn't necessarily mean he's dead. It has been implied he just ran away.
Yes, the whole army's been feeling a little off lately. Thankfully, you and your squadron still have your heads on straight.
It's a sad state of affairs out there. Hardly any dependable leaders remain. Instead, we're left with those who take pride in senseless looting and slaughter, or compete to see who can reduce more villages to ash.
Yay!
Each and every one of them handpicked by His Excellency, the Regent.
Are you sure you should be spilling secrets like that?
It's all right. I'd like you to have the full picture. Your company holds the key to victory in your hands. And with it, our very lives. Oh, but keep all that under wraps, if you would. It would bring the morale of my troops crashing to new lows were that to get out.
Usually mercs are backup for an army, not full-on replacements. But it is what it is. In any case, we'll get the job done so long as you're paying.
Geralt, should I perish in this fight, you can consider your contract terminated. You'll be free to stop supporting the Empire in its foul descent into depravity.
Nice. And we're here ready to pick them up, I guess.
Randolph.
You feeling any better? I have to say, I'm still not used to this new look of yours.
That makes two of us. But it will bother me less once I'm on the battlefield.
If you say so. With the war and the state it's in, the Kingdom is throwing everything they've got at this thing. I don't know if it's that or something else, but I've got a bad feeling. So watch yourself out there.
I will. You do the same.
Oh, right. I've been meaning to give you this. Never used to be without it. Cuts like a dream. I want you to have it. Swords like this are given to captains of the Knights of Saros, and mine was just collecting dust in the band's convoy.
That's right. Alois mentioned you used to serve there.
That was a lifetime ago. I don't plan on swinging this sword ever again.
But are you sure you want to give it away? It must be quite special to you.
I'd be happiest seeing you get some use out of it.
Thank you. I'll do that.
Be good to it, all right?
Okay. Are we setting up for Geralt to die now, with the giving of precious item?
The general opposite us is a man by the name of Randolph. I hear tell he's related to the Empire's Count Burgleys.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
To complicate matters further, he's hired Geralt's mercenaries to assist in their fight.
Them again, huh? Can't say I'm surprised.
The Imperial Army has gathered their forces in Hevring territory, with said mercenaries composing the core of their offense. I expect they'll engage us in the woodlands, an ideal location for the guerrilla warfare they specialize in.
Then we'll have to look out for traps and ambushes as we advance. More than usual, that is.
They're placing a great deal of faith in Gerald, trusting the front lines to his company.
Perhaps there are no other generals for them to rely on.
This is our chance then. We'll be in a great spot if we can land a decisive blow on the Empire.
Absolutely. They're bound to start feeling the heat over in Enbar once we get a solid foothold here in Hevring territory.
Yes, and the enemy is surely well aware of that fact. No doubt that's precisely why Geralt is among their ranks.
He and his company are incredible fighters. But there's more to it than that. They also have immense discipline. As long as they can afford the cost, I can see why the Imperials would trust them over some of their less experienced generals.
I didn't expect us to be facing them again so soon. We had best be ready. Though truly, I wish we could fight alongside them for once instead.
You and me both, Mercy. Look for an indirect solution, I guess?
We should probably just steer clear of them entirely. There's no point throwing our lives away against an opponent we can't beat. All we've got to do is take down their General Randolph, and the mercenaries will scatter.
Oh, come now. You're strong enough to defeat the Ashen Demon if you want. I know you are.
Yeah, but I really don't trust you right now.
But if this is how you'd like to handle it, I'll still be in your corner helping you every step of the way.
Whatever we decide to do, we will need a sound strategy if we are going to win.
Strategy, huh? Maybe something like a huge surprise attack on the Imperial positions.
A bold suggestion, Sylvain. You remind me of your father when he was young.
I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a compliment or what.
Margrave's been managing the conflict in the North for decades now, hasn't he? I'd say it's a great honor to be compared to him.
Ah, such fine memories. All of his strategies seem to involve sending me and Lambert off to thrust through the enemy lines on our own.
Yeah, going straight to the suicide charge every time doesn't sound all that strategic to me.
At any rate, I have full faith that our combined might will be up to the task at hand. We must succeed.
Why was Narwhal Ming? Oh, good lord. They really just throw more and more side quests at us, don't they? That'll be a time.
What about this?
I've been thinking.
I have a worthy proposition.
I've been thinking.
I guess
I have a
resisting
worthy
magic would be
proposition.
good?
Then it is settled. Place your trust in me.
Now then.
Those things are just kind of wild anyway. Right, let's talk to people. Oh, Rodrigo and Felix are talking again. I never trust that. I'll come back to them. It always feels like bad news when that happens. What's up?
Huh?
What's the matter, Abel? You look real worried.
In truth,
I'm feeling agitated, but I don't know why. Oh, okay. That was a short conversation. Lindy! I thought I would be taken prisoner, but instead I'm being treated as a general. What are they thinking? It'll be such a pain if they expect me to persuade the Imperial forces on this coming front. Nah.
Let's see.
Don't know what they got planned, but either way, they clearly value you.
This is unfortunate.
In that case, I suppose I should thank whoever holds me in such irritatingly high esteem. That's kind of a mood sometimes. Sometimes you just don't want to have to deal with the things people expect from you.
Do you have a minute?
Have you heard about the dance master that lives in Martin territory? They apparently won the White Heron Cup dancing competition. I had no idea such a contest even existed. I wonder what style of dance they do. My money is on interpretive breakdance.
I was thinking.
Geralt's mercenaries again. It feels like we've fought them 100 times since the war started. We've got the Empire backed into a corner, but I wonder if this will be the last we see of them. I don't care if we defeat them or force them to surrender. I just don't want to have to fight them anymore. Yeah, me neither. Not that I ever really wanted to fight them, but game's got a game.
Got a second?
I don't get it. Why do Geralt's mercenary keep siding with the Empire when they're losing? At this rate, the only things the Imperial Army can offer them are losing battles and table scraps, right? No idea.
Nuh-uh.
Who knows? Doesn't matter what the enemy's motivations are anyway. Hey, if we play our cards right, we might not even have to fight them.
So the story is...
The best case scenario in my book is turning our enemies into allies. Considering all the battles we have ahead of us, I'd like to avoid whatever unnecessary casualties we can. Yeah, you and me both. Which is a good point. I ought to duplicate my save while I still remember. Okay. You okay?
Huh?
You doing okay, Marianne?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just praying to the goddess. Everyone has their own reasons for fighting. It's not even about good or evil most of the time. So at the very least, I want to pray for those who have lost their lives. May they rest in peace. Oh, goddess.
Yeah? I mean, that seems valid to me. We fought so many familiar faces in that last battle. So many old friends. Professor Manuela, Professor Hanneman, Lonnie, Lynn, Connie. I'm glad some of them listened to reason and joined us. But there were so many who couldn't be spared. Perhaps I should have died with them. Man, Dorothea is really not handling this well.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get what you're trying to say, but it's up to us to make sure their sacrifices lead to a peaceful future. You have to survive so that you can save more lives moving forward. I hope you're right. Maybe someday I'll see it that way too. Again, in our quest for Fodlan's need for therapists.
Now that you mention it...
His Majesty's mood is different from last year. It was almost as if he was too dignified before. It made him somewhat unapproachable. I like him better now. He's much more cheerful around camp too. They're really trying to throw in the whole Dimitri mood change thing. I don't think they're succeeding.
Do you have a moment?
It may be imprudent at a time like this, but since we have travelled this far west, I would very much like to visit the coast to the north of here. Are you familiar with the Rhodos coast? It is just north of Lake I don't know how to say that word. I've heard of it. I've heard of it, but that's quite a ways from here. Going there now is out of the question. Goodness. Well, you certainly do not mince words. It is a place very near and dear to my heart, you know. But you are right, it is rather far. Perhaps I will visit once the war is ended.
A lot of people are getting fired up now that we've pushed the Empire back this far. They're saying Garreg-Mach's as good as ours, but I'm not so sure. It'll be difficult.
Let's see.
Garreg-Mach sits on one of the most strategic locations in Fodlan. It's not your average stronghold.
Right.
Yeah, but if that's what the higher-ups in the church are aiming for, then Rhea will have no choice but to move. The Cardinals and the others are still alive, after all.
Excuse me.
How wonderful. To think I would be reunited with my dearest Happy, and here of all places. It must be a miracle granted by the goddess herself.
Honestly, I don't know.
Hey, I worked my tail off to get here. You did too, didn't you, Coco? So first you make Coco betray the Empire, and now she's got to fight for the kingdom? Is that what's going on? I guess.
What do you think?
Yeah, it is what it is, but we definitely appreciate your help.
Can I be of use?
Refusal is never an option to begin with, but in any case, I will do my utmost to support you. Maybe let's not promise that, Coco. You might change your tune as soon as it gets cloudy. Yeah, I wonder if we're actually going to see her out of sunlight in this, because so far we have not.
So?
The Western Empire bore almost no trace of the previous war. But this current conflict has damaged the towns and cities of the area yet again. They were destroyed and rebuilt, only to be destroyed again. It seems like such a foolish cycle, but maybe that's the only way humans can move forward. Oh, I'm rambling again, aren't I? Yes, the only way humans can move forward. Abject stupidity. That sounds about right. Hey, did you, just out of curiosity, what's that in your hand? It is the pen His Majesty broke during the War Council. Yeah, things got pretty heated with everyone talking over each other. It must have been hard on His Majesty as well, considering how easily and often he breaks pens. Indeed, he was terribly despondent when he saw it break this time.
Let's see.
Maybe we can figure out a way to keep him from accidentally breaking them. Like, what if we gave the pen a name? He's less likely to break something he's attached to. Yeah, but that'll just make it sadder when he does. Huh, that might actually work. I'll have to run it by His Majesty next time. His strength really comes in handy on the battlefield. I actually used to be jealous of it.
Oh no.
Now I understand the burden it brings. I'm sure there are people who are afraid of him too.
Well...
Yes, unfortunately more than a few consider him to be some kind of monster. Cheerful! If I'm not mistaken, we should be getting closer to my home. Or maybe not. I've been holed up so much I don't know where we are anymore. We might be. I'm not really familiar with the southern part of the Empire.
Well...
I hope I'm wrong. Oh, I just remembered. My father should be at Garrick Mark anyway.
Oh, yay!
Well, I'll be happy as long as I don't have to see him. Valid.
How can I serve?
The man charged with defending Havering territory, Randolph, is actually related to Count Burghley's. Not by blood, mind you. He's the previous Count's stepson from his second wife. He desperately wants to make a name for himself in this war and establish a house of his own. Of course, who knows whether his new house would even have a future in the current empire. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yes? Oh, right.
The land in this region is so fertile, and the climate differs greatly from the kingdoms. It's hard to describe my feelings looking at this landscape after all I've seen in Galatea. I can also understand why the people of Shreng are trying to seize our lands in Fargus. But I mustn't let envy cloud my vision. Instead, I'll focus on what I can do for my home. Potatoes, Ingrid. Potatoes.
Greetings. In truth.
His Majesty has asked for my counsel regarding strategic matters more often as of late. He is already an excellent leader, especially for one so young. I am happy to advise him whether he needs it or not.
Huh?
Dimitri seems to really trust you. How do you know so much about tactics anyway?
Oh.
When you have studied the records of the Saints as much as I have, it is only natural to glean some of their tactical knowledge. Saint Keyhole in particular was known as a tactical genius and played a key role in many historic victories. Alright there, Satif. He also penned a book on military strategy. I recommend reading it should the opportunity arise. That's kind of hilarious. They really haven't gone into the Saints much on this, which I guess makes sense because the church isn't the focus, but it's still funny. There have been so many people fleeing the Empire lately. Of course, I want to help those in need, and it's good if some of them end up joining our army. But I'm worried we wouldn't notice if one of them happened to be a spy. Good point. I should probably take a look around for anyone suspicious at the very least. I'll keep my eyes peeled too. I'm sure it'll be fine, but it can't hurt to be careful.
Let's give it our all!
After all, we can't afford to lose this battle. There's no room for error. Yeah, if we ever get the chance to recruit Hubert, I don't know what I'd do with that. I really should read all those documents at some point, but I just have not got round to it.
Come to think of it.
You know, it's been a while since I've seen Lady Rhea. We exchange letters regularly, but I still worry about her. This business with the Western Church has probably piled even more on her plate. I hope she's not taking on more than she can handle. Yeah, we'll find out.
Hey, got a minute?
So I got this old buddy, right? His name's Holst. The guy can rip demons to shreds in his sleep, and he doesn't even have a crest. Oh, doesn't he? That's interesting. Man's a force of nature. But Dimitri's pretty strong too, isn't he? I wonder who would win in a fight. Well, I'll just have to take a crack at him first. If he can't beat me, then Holst will wipe the floor with him for sure. Yeah, good luck with that, Balthus.
How wonderful!
I am so relieved we didn't have to take Constance's life. She's a dear friend of mine from back when I lived in the Empire. It pains me that we're forcing her to betray them. But I also get so much joy out of fighting alongside her. It's selfish of me, I know.
Yeah, well, better to have her than kill her.
Oh, man. Got a minute?
I know we're trying to end the war as quick as possible, but barging into someone else's homeland and trashing the place just doesn't feel right. To be fair, from what we've heard, it's pretty much already been trashed by them, but yeah. Yeah, I hear you. It's easier to feel good about it when I think about who we're fighting to protect. That's true. I just can't help but think about how after all this is done, I'm going to take over the inn and live a carefree life. I won't have to hurt anybody as an innkeeper. I kind of love innkeeper Raphael. It seems fun.
So here's the thing.
I don't know if it's because I've been here a while or what, but the folks in Fargus and the church have really grown on me. Every victory we sing, drink, and have a rollicking good time. Doesn't matter where we're from. This war won't last forever, but I sure hope the friendships do. Don't we all? Alright, what is coming up here? I will be overseeing our main base's defense per our discussion with His Majesty. Which means I won't be able to accompany all of you. Do try not to slow His Majesty down, Felix. Please, me slow him down? I'll be the one dragging him to the enemy's door. Ha, I'm certain His Majesty would find that most reassuring. I look forward to seeing what you will accomplish, Felix. Huh, you're the one who needs to keep his ego in check. Try not to embarrass yourself, old man. I'm still worried about Rodrigue.
Excuse me, we must speak.
I went visiting to where my father died. But of course, there was nothing to be seen. Almost no one in Fodlan remembers. This is good in its own way, I think. Good in its own way, huh? You might just be right.
Ah.
Yes, there is sadness, but everybody is overcoming it. Hopefully they will continue to do so.
How can I be of service?
Pardon me, Commander. Is there truly no way for us to avoid an altercation with Geralt's mercenaries? Mayhap we could keep our distance from them and instead focus on attacking the Imperial forces. Though I suppose we have no information as to their whereabouts. If only we could deploy some strategy that would allow us to glean their location. Wonder if that'll be a thing. We suffered so much at Magdred and in Arundel territory because of Geralt's mercenaries. My friend even lost their life at the hands of the Ashen Demon.
Essentially.
We must win for all those who are taken from us. Defeat is not an option. I'm worried about all of this.
Hear me out.
Well, meeting the boss again was really something. What a guy. We hadn't spoken or seen each other in over 2 years, and he still remembered me. I gotta tell the others from Abyss that I bumped into him.
Right.
Balthus, Constance, Happy, all the usual suspects are here. Up until 2 years ago, I lived with them underground as part of the Ashen Wolf's house. And now you're together forever. Oh, it's sweet you're all such good friends. It's not about being good friends, we're just always bound to run into each other. I'm amazed we're reunited here of all places, though. Are you? I'm not.
A moment of your time.
Word has it that the Minister of Domestic Affairs, Count Havering, is a rather capable fellow. Perhaps that is why there has been relatively minimal destruction and looting in this area. Or it could be that the cities in this territory are so developed they can withstand more damage. Apparently he's assembling forces in the city of Mosgars, but I wonder if we will even need to engage in combat. I'll feel bad if we kill Lindy's dad.
Good day.
The Alliance forces have entered Imperial territory, but their wariness of the infamous Count Burgleys has them at a stalemate. Or at least, that is how it appears. In reality, it is a pretext to draw the attention of the Imperial forces on the Eastern Front. It is another one of that blackguard Claude's foolhardy schemes, but it is more than serving its purpose. At least for the time being, the Imperial army cannot devote any forces to the west. Our victory is all but assured. And yet you're still here.
Wait up.
Fighting mercenaries is one thing, but going against Sir Alois just feels wrong. He's so good-natured, and his terrible jokes always make people laugh. Well, at least a few of the knights got a kick out of them. Anyway, we all thought he was a swell guy. I can't believe things have turned out this way. I mean, neither can I, to be honest.
Troubling indeed. Do you have a moment?
We already know what Geralt's mercenaries are capable of. We may have superior numbers, but they could still claim victory over us. That said, Havering territory is a key strategic location. We cannot simply bypass it. We spoke earlier with Rodrigue and the others about prioritizing the defeat of the Imperial commander. Therefore, I propose we leave the base in Rodrigue's care and strike at the heart of the Imperial forces ourselves. What are your thoughts? Yeah, we've never specifically left Rodrigue in charge here before, so I bet that someone's going to invade here and kill him. I guess?
Absolutely.
Sounds solid enough, though I doubt it'll be a walk in the park. True, Geralt's mercenaries will likely see to that. Fortunately, we have battle-hardened veterans like Seteth and Rodrigue on our side.
I wonder...
I need not come to a conclusion on my own. I'll solicit more opinions before making my decision. Yeah, it sounds like a plan. Right. Let's go through a couple more supports while we're here.
Another beautiful day. Perfect weather to get a bit of training in.
There you are. I've been looking all over for you.
Hey, Annette. Not used to seeing anyone else up and about this early. What's up?
Oh, this is awful. Just the worst.
This doesn't have anything to do with me, does it?
I mean, Shell is awful, just the worst, but why not?
It absolutely does. You sang my song in front of the other mercenaries.
Your song? Oh, you mean the one about the horse that had a human face?
The what?
No! I mean, yes, but that's not what it's about at all.
Really? I could have sworn the lyrics said something about the guy's body being 80% horse. I liked it so much I couldn't stop humming it to myself. And then I had to teach it to the other mercs when they overheard me.
Which explains why I heard it in all corners of the camp. It really caught me off guard. I haven't sung it for anyone else yet. Only you.
Sorry, should I have kept it to myself? I thought it was a great little tune, honest.
I'm glad you liked it that much, but I hadn't even finished writing the lyrics yet. I don't mind my songs getting around once I'm happy with how they turned out, but it's super embarrassing when people hear one before I've finished writing it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. It's no fun when people see or hear something when you're not ready to show it off. I mean, I'm the same way. I can't stand it when other people watch me practice my sword work. Though I can't really avoid it if I want to get any real training in.
Exactly. But my song's out in the wild now, and there's no putting that cat back in the box. I guess I'll just have to wait till everyone forgets it.
Hey, I'm really sorry about all this. I could tell everyone to pretend like they never heard it, if you think that would help.
No, absolutely not. That'll just make them all suspicious.
In that case, why don't you just finish the song? Then you can sing the final version for everyone, and they'll forget about the old one in no time. You might not be happy with it right now, but it's clearly catchy if all those people are loving it.
You have a point there. I guess I just need to finish up the lyrics then.
That's the spirit. Though I do really like the whole 80% horse part.
Well, that was wild.
Hey, Ingrid. Not too often I see you wandering in town like this.
Oh, I, was just out for a walk. What about you? Are you here to do some shopping?
Yeah. Dedu asked me to pick up some ingredients for dinner.
Well, if it is food shopping you're after, then your best bet would be the boulevard past the river.
What are you so flustered for? You're not hiding something, are you?
What, me? No, not at all. It's nothing really. I'm just surprised how much you can find here.
It's a far cry from the struggling little towns dotting the rest of the kingdom, that's for sure.
Yes. Galatea is one of the regions that's found itself facing particularly hard times lately. A beautiful town like this, filled with happy people, hardly feels like it's part of the same kingdom as the blighted, barren lands I call home. The street lined end to end with blacksmiths is an especially magnificent sight. Not to mention all the wonderful smells wafting from the food stalls. Sorry, I lost myself for a moment there. In any case, it's great to see just how prosperous this town has become.
Hey, you want to go take a peek at some of those stalls with me? We can grab a bite and keep walking if you want. I saw some mouth-watering meat skewers when I passed by earlier, and this time of year's got the best fruit and fish.
Truly? I'd love to try some. Though it would not be proper for me to be engaging in such revelry as the future Count Galatea.
Hey, speaking of, have you figured out what you want to do yet?
Not at the moment, no. In fact, part of the reason I came into town today was to do some further searching. It's my dream in life to stand as a knight by His Majesty's side, just as my late fiancé once did. And even if I do not become a knight like he was, there must be a way I can protect His Majesty in a similar fashion. Perhaps I could teach the people of my house the ways of farming and travel the kingdom cultivating land for those who need it most.
That's an idea. Definitely an unusual job for a count, but it'll be welcome for sure. And if you managed to help the kingdom prosper while you did it, people would grow more and more satisfied with the royal family's rule. That's certainly one way to protect the king. If that's how it's gonna be, maybe I could pitch in once you finally take the title of Count Galatea. I could be your personal mercenary, just like Tobias was for your grandma.
You do realize how much work that would be, don't you? My grandmother gave those mercenaries every task under the sun, and then some.
I can handle anything you throw at me, no problem. Even if you asked me to fetch you meat skewers every day to save you a trip into town.
What? I would never. Still, thank you for the offer. I will hold you to it.
That was actually pretty cute by the standards of good old Shell's supports. Ooh, there's one with Yuri.
An opera company smack dab in the middle of the Imperial capital, huh? I can't even begin to imagine what that must be like. I mean, I've been all over the place for my mercenary work, but it's mostly just been for small-time rural lords and the like. Honestly, I'd never even met anyone from the big cities like Enbar or Ferdiad before coming to Garreg Mach.
You know, shows in the capital are about 1,000 times flashier than the little town festival shows you might be used to. Every important moment of the drama is conveyed through elaborate song, and at the center of the musical ensemble stands its star, the diva.
I think I get the idea. These divas sound pretty incredible. They probably get stage names and everything if they're that important, huh?
Oh, but of course. I was known as the mystical songstress.
Hey, that's pretty good. There always has been this kind of indescribable aura surrounding you.
Thanks, but I have mixed feelings about the name myself. They called me that because of how suddenly a street orphan like me was discovered and debuted.
Yeah, I see how there could be some complicated feelings wrapped up in that. But if you were able to rise from that to diva, you must have the chops to back it up. Not that I can even picture what that would sound like. Hey, do you think you could sing something for me?
Since you asked so nicely, but I'm only doing it this once, okay?
How the crimson rain of pain it came, falling hard upon a land aflame, when the sacred blade it split the sky until the heavens heard our cry. In the hour of vengeance will you heed the call? On the red fields of revenge will you help avenge? We must fight strong and stand tall.
Well, what did you think?
It was... yeah.
What, you didn't like it? Not quite the booming applause I'm used to.
No, it was incredible, honest. I was just kinda at a loss for words for a second there. That was like nothing else I've ever heard before. Sorry I can't really give you much more than that.
Oh, don't worry about it. This sort of thing happens more often than you'd think.
Well, as long as you're not mad. If you don't mind though, maybe you could try again for me sometime? I'd really like to hear you sing some more. And hey, I might even get better at telling you what I thought.
Sure. I suppose I can give you one more chance.
I don't really know why I bothered looking at that since we're not on that route, but I also just realised I have been cheated. Yuri doesn't have a B support. Why are they giving me less Yuri support? The cowards? Anyway, I'll get there in a minute.
Hey, Sedith. What are you staring off into space for?
Oh, it is you. I was just reflecting on the monastery.
Yeah. It's that way, isn't it? In the mountains.
Correct. So close, yet still beyond our reach.
Can't say I ever learned much about it when I was there, but I know it's important to the church.
Yes. It serves as the headquarters of our order. Many saints have been laid to rest there as well. As a sacred ground, Garreg Mach Monastery is irreplaceable. It is also a place that Flayn and I hold dear to our hearts.
So, your sister feels that way too?
Due to our circumstances, Flayn and I traveled around Fodlan as nomads for a very long time. When we accepted the Archbishop's gracious invitation, I thought we had finally found our safe haven. That it would be taken from us so easily is almost too much to bear.
Well, that's all the more reason to take it back then. I'll do whatever I can to make that happen. Oh, I mean, while staying away from the Archbishop, of course.
You must forgive me for saying what I did back then. My position required I do so. I do not personally believe, however, that any evil resides within you. Whatever the true nature of your power, I trust you wield it with a righteous heart.
Really?
Oh yeah? Seems like a pretty drastic change of heart. Does that mean you're finally starting to trust me?
Indeed. I am truly grateful to have you as an ally. I know I have no right to say this after regarding you with such suspicion, but we need you. I pray you will continue to lend us your strength, not only for the Church, but for the future of Fodlan itself.
You can count on me, Sedith. Oh, Yuri, you're back? I thought you'd still be away.
Well, look who it is. I figured if I didn't come back before sunset, someone might get worried and ransack my room again.
I wasn't ransacking. You're gonna keep holding that over my head, aren't you?
Just joking, friend. No need to take everything so seriously. Anyway, it's late. Shouldn't you be getting some shut-eye?
Probably, but I just got my second wind. How was your mom, by the way?
Well, it's not looking good, that's for sure. But she's still got some fight in her yet. I'd planned on staying longer, but she told me to do what I had to do and sent me on my way. One minute she wants to see me, the next she's telling me to go home. Honestly, she's all over the place.
Reminds me of my mom. The one who raised me, anyway.
She passed away, didn't she? Judging by your expression, she must have been pretty special.
She was. More than I can say. She took me in when I'd been abandoned. Taught me how to live. We weren't blood related, but she was my mom. No doubt about it.
I'm sure wherever she is now, she's very happy to hear you say that.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to ask you something. It's been on my mind for a while now. About your real name. Your mom gave it to you, right? Where does it come from? I've never heard anything like it before.
Look up. No, a little more to the left. See that bright star over there?
Bright star. To the left? Which one? There are thousands of stars up there, and they're all bright.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter if you find it or not. Anyway, it's that star's ancient name. The white star that the goddess herself made into a disciple. My mother is a devout follower of Seros. But I know it's a pretty ostentatious name for a penniless kid.
I don't think so. It just shows how much you mean to her.
Yeah. Well, I do like it. She gave it to me after all. I'm not sure how much of the scriptures she really understands, but knowing her, I'm certain she put a lot of consideration into my name.
Then doesn't it seem like kind of a waste not to use it? What with how much thought she put into it?
I've used many names, and each one comes with its own mask. But when I hear my real name, all those facades fall away. The only people who can call me that are those who are truly special to me. Immediate family, or someone just as important.
And we're wasting it on Shell.
Which means that if you're so intent on using my name, you'd better be willing to spend the rest of your life by my side.
The rest of my life, huh? Okay, I'll think about it.
The look on your face right now, it's priceless. Regardless, it does make me happy to hear that you like my name.
I'm glad that Yuri was kidding.
And if you ever decide you're up for it, let me know, okay? I'll think it over too, just in case.
I love him. He's so delightful. Good grief, why must I have so many of these?
Ah, Annette, good day to you.
Hey, Lawrence. Did you need something?
Yes, there is something I simply had to tell you.
Please don't say you want to ask me out.
Same.
Perish the thought. I merely wanted to praise you for your diligence, as it has clearly been paying off.
Thanks, I guess. What's all this about?
I have borne witness to your magnificent exploits, both on and off the battlefield. Such achievements could only be possible through tireless effort. That kind of brilliance is impressive, no matter if you're a noble or a common lass of the lowest birth. Is something the matter? You look like a pigeon that's just been struck in the face with wind magic.
It just came out of the blue is all. I wasn't really expecting you to compliment me.
But I am wounded. Is receiving a compliment from me truly so shocking?
Yes.
I merely wanted to express my heartfelt admiration. Not least of all because of the misunderstanding which has long stood between us. I thought it best to speak my mind before fate's fickle hand separates us yet again.
You are so odd sometimes.
And now you laugh at me. Might I inquire as to why? I see nothing odd about praising a dear colleague.
Sorry. I'm sorry. It just hit me that you're actually totally sincere about all this.
Had that not been apparent? How could I be anything less than sincere in my desire to mend our previously strained relationship?
Well, I'm glad you appreciate all of my efforts, Lawrence. I really am. Because when you called me a child back then, it felt like you were dismissing all the hard work it took to make it into the School of Sorcery. I think some part of me has wanted to win your approval ever since. So it feels great to finally have it happen.
You really need to raise your standards, Annette.
You're a better judge of character than I gave you credit for, Lawrence.
Naturally. It is a noble's sacred duty to stand above others and correctly evaluate their worth, after all.
Well then, as something of a noble myself, I guess I could stand to learn more about that from you.
That would be splendid! Well then, from one noble to another, perhaps you might join me for a meal so we might discuss issues of—
Let's not. I wouldn't want to spoil my newfound appreciation for you.
Is that so? How unfortunate. Perhaps some other—
Whoa, look at the time. I better get going. I need to do something with all this extra motivation.
Well, no matter. I need only follow her example and work tirelessly toward my goal.
Sorry, are you talking direct to camera right now? I feel like Lawrence is staring straight into my soul and I hate that.
For I, Lawrence Hellman Gloucester, must aspire to nothing less.
Don't you point at me. That was uncomfortable. Oh dear.
She's been flicking her tail a lot today. Does that mean she's happy?
No, she's just brushing off flies.
Oh, that makes sense. Also, I was thinking she was in a bad mood because she kept stomping her hoof.
That means she wants more hay. And higher quality feed if possible.
Where's this coming from, huh? You keep eating like this, you only have more weight to carry around. I've really been trying to figure out what she's thinking based on her behavior, but it's so hard. I'm impressed you manage it so easily.
Oh no, I'm not that impressive. What's wrong, Ingrid?
Marianne, perfect timing. My horse is refusing to move again, and I need to help an ally back on the battlefield. She doesn't seem scared like before, so I'm not sure what to do.
Okay, I'll talk to her.
Shh.
You're fine. You'll be all right.
Well, what did she say?
She doesn't want to take you to the battlefield because it's too dangerous. For you, I mean.
So that's what was troubling her. All right, I'll take it from here. There, girl. It's all right. Even if we're heading into danger, I'll be fine so long as I'm with you. Now lift your head and walk. One of our friends is waiting for us. Aw, thanks. I'm counting on you.
Thank goodness you got through.
I have been doing my best to learn how to connect with her, and it's clearly paying off. Though I'd never have understood her feelings without your insight.
But I didn't do anything. More importantly, you should hurry and help your friend.
I will. See you later.
Wait, Ingrid, I hope you come back safely. And then, when you do, maybe we can,
Oh, you want to go horseback riding together sometime? Of course. I'd love to have Dorte join us.
Oh, yes, actually. But how did you know?
When you spend enough time with a person, you start to pick up on what they're thinking through facial expressions and mannerisms. It's especially true of close friends. So I guess all my practice helped us as well.
Oh, Ingrid.
I really admire how hard you work at everything you do. I hope you return safely. Dorte and I will be waiting for you.
We'll come back safe, Marianne. I promise.
Horse girls unite, I guess.
Your Majesty, about tomorrow's drills. Apologies. I did not mean to interrupt.
It's fine, Ingrid. We had just finished.
That was the leader of the Dusker forces, yes? What were you talking about?
We were discussing various tactics and formations. We must be aligned if we're to fight together. The way Dusker soldiers operate is quite different from our knights. I must also be mindful of how I deploy them to avoid undue conflict.
Yes, I hear there have already been a number of small quarrels in the encampment.
It's not a problem easily solved. I'm sure each side finds it difficult to adjust to the other. And you, Ingrid. Do you still hate the people of Dusker?
I no longer have reason to hold on to that hate. Yes, a few of them were involved in the tragedy, but I cannot blame the rest for that. There were many other forces at work. I understand that now. Yet I used to focus all my negative feelings on the people of Dusker, and for that I am ashamed. In a way, I now find myself scared of interacting with them at all.
You needn't blame yourself. The fault lies with me for not speaking to you about it more 6 years ago. I hesitated because I didn't wish to confuse the matter, not knowing the full truth of it. But you were forced to grapple with many painful feelings as a result. Clearly, my priorities were not in order.
You had enough to deal with 6 years ago. So many knights were expelled from the castle, and almost none but Lord Rodrigue would set foot in the capital. Even my father prevented me from going to see you.
Yet, I still could have sought you out. And I had countless chances to discuss the matter at the academy.
I do not think I would have taken it well even if you had. I was convinced that Glenn died saving you from irredeemable villains. I forced myself to believe that. If I hadn't, I fear I may have gone mad.
I was in a similar position. But once I finally opened the lid on that box, I realized just how many were involved, including members of our own kingdom. In the end, I knew I had to reconcile with reality.
And I must also accept the reality that stands before me now. We are allied with the people of Dusker, which means I can no longer avoid them.
I have an idea. It may not help, but I'd like to take you somewhere. The father of that man I was speaking with earlier opened an inn last year, and it's not far. Would you care to join me there for a meal? Word has it he's quite skilled at making all manner of food. Of course, if this is all too much and too soon, I understand.
Not at all. I would love to accompany you, though it shames me to admit it. I likely lack the courage to go alone, but with you at my side, I think I can take that first step.
In that case, let us make haste. Oh, and this will be my treat, so keep your pocketbook shut tight.
That was nice.
Now then, I'd like to hear opinions on the proposed tactics. Personally, I believe it best to gather our forces and attack the stronghold directly, but...
Of course the boar wants to rush in headlong. Using a small force to take out the enemy's base of operations is a far better idea. Do you have something to say? Or are you just going to stand there glaring at me?
I have nothing to add, no.
So you're saying you have no thoughts on it whatsoever? You don't even agree or disagree? Just purely, blissfully neutral?
Enough, Felix. Leave Dedu be and tell me more about this idea of yours.
We don't need to kick down the front door here. Sneaking in with a small force and burning their food stores will be more than enough.
Interesting. We'd miss a chance to loot their supplies. But it would free up our main force for other matters. Still, it won't be easy to slip past their patrols. I'd best take my personal troops and...
Allow me to take on the role. I trust that'll be satisfactory.
Right then. Now that we've solidified our strategy, let's break for a bit.
Okay, what is your problem? You've been giving me that look ever since we came in here. You clearly have something on your mind, so spit it out.
It's good to have you with us.
Huh?
Few can debate His Majesty without hesitation or ill intent. Our war council proceeded smoothly as a result.
You make me sound like some kind of troublemaker. I don't disagree just for the thrill of it, you know?
You don't say.
Demetrius always had a reckless streak. Who knows what kind of mess he'd drag us into if someone wasn't around to stop him. The guy would gladly throw his life away for someone else given half the chance.
You have a point.
His death would mean the destruction of both Fargus and the Church. So when I try to protect him, what I'm really doing is protecting the kingdom.
Spoken like the shield of Fargus.
What's with a smile? I told you, if you've got something to say, just say it.
I know you spoke up for my sake as well. I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, well, just doing what's expected. I mean, we're, you know, brothers in arms and all that.
Apologies for the wait. I trust we're ready to reconvene. You two seem to be having a lively discussion. May I ask what it was about?
Of course, Your Majesty. Felix was just saying...
I was saying how much of a fool you are. And now come. We have more important things to discuss.
Why are they such an iconic trio in this game? It's kind of amazing. Now this could be interesting.
Everyone is strangely abuzz today. Is there a visiting minstrel or a mummer's troupe?
Haven't you heard, mister? A funny knight's been coming to town recently.
A funny night, hey?
Oh, yeah, he's super strong. He can carry all the blacksmith stuff by himself. And he got those guys who kept picking fights at the tavern to finally shut up. But he's also kind of weird, too. Like when you talk to him, sometimes he seems sheltered and obtuse, but then sometimes not.
What kind of weird expositional child is using the word obtuse at that age?
Why does that sound like... No, it couldn't be.
Yuri, what are you doing here?
I knew it.
I'm glad I ran into you. We have a broken wagon that needs fixing, and I could use a hand.
I can't believe you. Come with me a second. Are you an idiot? What are you doing here?
I had some time on my hands and thought I'd see how things are going in town.
Then stick to the more upscale streets. This alley is dangerous. It's not quite a full-blown slum, but money is still in pretty short supply. What are we supposed to do if someone introduces our king to a nice pointy knife while he's out wandering the streets? By himself, might I add.
How am I supposed to learn what it means to be a commoner without using my own eyes? All I ever see from my throne are the upscale streets, as you call them. And yes, I could send someone here in my stead, but there is no substitute for first-hand experience.
You know you don't have an heir, right? If you die, the entire region gets thrown into a bloody civil war over who gets to succeed you. Lots of nobles will die, but the commoners? The commoners will be absolutely slaughtered. Right now, people seem to like you, so it's in all of our interest that you live a long and healthy life. Got it? And if you insist on coming here, at least bring that giant oaf of yours along to watch your back.
Perhaps I was being a bit reckless.
It's good to know that even a fool like you can see reason on occasion.
In that case, might I ask you to act as my bodyguard today? I'm certain you're more than up to the task.
What?
If I could get a look at this town through your eyes, I think I could learn many valuable lessons. Besides, if I ask to do, he'll surely forbid me from coming here at all. I would be grateful if you would consent to doing this favor for me.
Oh, this is rich. The king asking me for help. Fine. In that case, your majesty. I will do all in my power to safeguard your royal person. Happy?
Fire Emblem 3 Hopes. Dimitri gets lightly bullied by his friends.
All right, that should do it. Sorry for pulling you into this, Sylvain.
Hey, I'm the one who should be apologizing. I can't believe I didn't pick up on the fact we had spies in our midst.
Oh, I'm just especially attuned to sensing such people. What with my line of work and all. They seemed quite adept, save for the fact they were just as poor at hiding their hostility as you.
Or maybe you're just way too perceptive.
Merely years of practice, I assure you. Still, I was surprised to see how eagerly you set about clearing those spies from our midst. Never thought I'd meet someone who'd jump at an invitation to purge spies as readily as he would a lunch date with a pretty woman.
Well, time is of the essence with this kind of stuff, and Dimitri surely won't mind that we only let him know after the fact. We have to win this war, and nothing loses a war faster than a leaky ship.
Yet even superior intelligence can be overturned by brute force. Take Aryan Road, for example. I was so certain we had achieved total victory, and then...
Yeah, that was a hard-won battle. We'd never have made it without my brother and the Knights. Speaking of which, it's still a little weird to trust my back to a guy who was so recently trying to jam a sword into it.
I understand your qualms. In fact, I'm surprised you never hunted me down yourself to seek revenge for your brother's death.
It's all water under the bridge if you joining helps us win this war. I just didn't know if I could trust you at first.
And now? Have I proven worthy of that trust?
Certainly. Your perceptiveness really saved our tails this time. But don't forget that I'm sworn to protect this place. And you know exactly what'll happen if you decide to switch sides.
You're actually quite the loyalist beneath all that flippancy. I admire such sensibility, believe it or not. But you may rest easy. I have no intentions of betraying you. In fact, I look forward to a lasting friendship with the future Margrave.
I'd like that. And I kind of appreciate how you see right through me. Saves me the trouble of trying to beat around the bush, you know?
It sounds as if we forged a mutual respect. Perhaps I might even agree to go out with you sometime.
I'd heard that it was implied that Yuri asks him out, but that's very funny to me.
So long as you don't use any more of your awful pickup lines from the first time we met. Oh, how did that one go again? Hello there, my adorable little chickadee. Care to let this rooster into the hen house?
Oh, that's so bad.
Look, I already apologized for mistaking you for a girl, so you can quit bringing it up now.
And give up such an embarrassing tidbit on the next Margrave Gautier? Never! Besides, I never asked you to apologize. You are not the first to make that error, nor will you be the last. And frankly, a date with you would likely prove a very interesting experience. There's no better way to secure one's future than by attaching oneself to a dashing Margrave to be, after all.
Whoa, you just put my chickadee line to shame. Is it weird that I'm kinda into it?
I mean, it was much better than your awful pickup line.
Take note, Sylvain. This is how it's done.
I think I'm at least starting to get how you've risen so far so fast. I'm definitely glad you're on our side. Anyway, here's to seeing where the future takes us.
That was kind of amazing. Oh, anyway, I'll go and do some stuff and get back to you when there's more plot. Okay, I'm back, and we have 2 new paralogues this time, which is kind of wild. So I think what I'm going to do is do one of them this episode, and then do the second one in the main mission next episode, just for funsies. So let's head into this.
You wanted to see me, Constance? Oh, and hey, Annette. Hey, Mercedes.
You, my friend, are late, and after I specifically told you to hurry, too! For shame, I say!
Hey, sorry about that. Didn't realize it was so urgent.
Of course it's urgent! If I'm going to be on an excursion, it is imperative that it ends before sunrise!
It is?
There is no need to worry, Constance. The night's only just begun, after all. We have plenty of time.
Fine. In that case, I will mirror Mercedes' magnanimity and grant you forgiveness.
Well, now that I'm here, can someone tell me what all this urgency is actually about?
I desire your assistance in testing a new bit of magic I've developed. I've been working tirelessly on it these past 2 years, and last night, I finally had a breakthrough. This is a magic to surpass all others. One with nearly unlimited power and range. 'Tis a magic that will revolutionize the very world! And tonight marks its debut!
How is this gonna go wrong, then?
And since I'm not certain she's going to get around to this part, her magic requires a very rare gemstone. Thankfully, Constance got her hands on one yesterday, which is why she's ready to test it now.
It was originally just going to be the three of us, but then we figured having a little muscle around might not be the worst idea in the world. So naturally, we thought of you.
Makes sense. Sure, I'm in.
Wonderful. Well then, let's be off.
Yeah, fun thing I've just realised about them saying they need muscle.
Alright, the materials are all ready, so we can start the test anytime.
Pretty sure that Mercy and Annette are both still on level 2. Everyone else is on about level 40, so I might need to go and level them up a bit.
Yes! Finally, all is in order! Permit me to introduce you to the ultimate magic! That ruined castle in the distance should make for an excellent target.
Who's in there?
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Why not?
Yeah, fire! Do it, Constance!
Hey, slow down! There could be people living in there, so we can't just... Huh?
Help! Someone! Help!
That voice came from the castle. You didn't cast your spell yet, right?
No, not yet. Which means that voice is...
Please, help! They captured everyone in the village!
Shut up and move your feet. Ain't no one gonna hear you all the way out here anyway.
Bandits. And they're headed right for the castle.
There's no time to go back and get reinforcements. We'll have to take them on ourselves.
You're right. We have to help those poor people.
Just when my experiment was so close to fruition. Still, I could never forgive myself if I abandoned people in need. Let us be off with all haste!
Her outfit's more fun than the one that they gave her in Houses. Right, level 44. Level 41. Level 4! That's better than I thought! And level 2. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute once I've leveled them up. My bad. Ugh, I just spent so much money upgrading them, but they're both now level 35, which I'm gonna say is enough. And I'm probably gonna be playing as Shell a lot on this map. Oh, the joys. You still have an iron tome, good grief. Right.
Let this den of felled kidnappers return to dust by the power of my magic!
Okie dokes.
Shall we? Let's give it a shot.
I have a feeling this might not end well for me,
I
but
shall take it from here.
I'll give it 1000%.
it is what it is. If in doubt, I can always just give Constance and Shell
Not a...
pair-ups.
People are being held captive in here, and we have to rescue them.
You're right. We can't just abandon them no matter how scary it might be.
The time has come for my new spell to be unleashed!
Has it?
And we're sure the people we're trying to rescue won't get caught up in it, right?
Out of the way!
And I could just be swapping characters here, but also effort. I figure I should probably go and help out Annette. Anyway, since last time I played this game, I've heard some interesting things. Apparently Sky was looking at reviews of this and found out that people are really unhappy with the way that Claude's been written, which I am deeply afraid of because he is my favourite. So yeah, whatever she found was interesting and potentially terrible enough that she's actually considering not playing his route now, which is certainly something. So yeah, I mean, it's not going to be a priority for me to get into the next route soon anyway, because Xenoblade 3 is releasing this week, which is a nightmare in and of itself. I really wish I had more time. But yeah, not sure when I'll get around to the other routes now, knowing what we do.
Take a breather.
We're on a roll now.
It seems like it could be interesting. Right.
Just do as I planned. I shall take it from...
Not a problem. I've got this.
Shall we? Let's give it a shot.
I'll give it 1000%. Leave everything to me. Let me at him.
Is it time yet? Can I use my new spell now? Why, oh why won't you let me use my new spell?
I don't see any villagers around, so sure.
I'll give it leave everything to me.
Do I have to be Constance for this?
A fine
Knock
choice.
yourself out.
Behold my magnificent new spell, and drink deep of its power. No get.
Ah. That is certainly doing the thing.
Did you see what power took place? All has been reduced to rubble in a stroke.
What happened to our beautiful base?
Voice acting of the year there.
That was amazing. I think we're gonna win this thing in no time.
Whoa! I don't know what kind of magic that was. Let's get out of here.
Better than me.
Yeah, so you keep saying, is it gonna do anything?
I have created the ultimate magic. It is perfect in every way.
How's it gonna come back to bite
I wonder
us?
what principles her magic is based on. We might be able to make it even more powerful with a couple of...
Not a problem. I've got this.
Here I go.
Constance, Annie, let's please try to focus on the battle in front of us for the time being.
And forgiveness.
I feel like Constance's voice actor had fun as well. Right.
Just do as I planned. Caution. It's a net time.
This reminds me of our time at the School of Sorcery. Remember how you and I always got paired together for assignments, Mercy?
Shall we? Let's give it a shot.
I'll give it 1000%. Leave everything to me.
I've got this.
Just do as I plan. I shall take it from here.
My
Paired
turn.
in knowledge with dear Mercedes. Oh, even the sound of the words is ecstasy.
We can do as many assignments as you like later. Right now, we have a battle to finish.
Mercedes is like the single brain cell of the group right now.
I'm very much glad she's on our side now.
We've made our way quite deep inside their base. The villagers must be around here somewhere.
We're under attack. How did they find us?
Success! Who found where they're imprisoning the villagers?
Less cackling and more dealing with all of those guards, please.
But yeah, thinking about what I was saying earlier about Claude, I did feel like in the interactions so far he's been written as more
Just do as I planned.
cold and calculating than he usually is, which I don't trust, because yes, he's normally sneaky,
I've got this.
but he also normally actually cares about people.
Shall we?
So, I hope they
Let's
didn't
give it a
completely
shot.
ruin him. I'm very afraid that they completely ruined him.
I've gotta do this. Gotcha. This is
But
it.
we'll see, I guess. Also, I know I've talked about the good route versus the bad route before, and according to Sky, the bad route was injustice to Byleth, so... Again, kind of fascinated. Definitely afraid. Get back here, Trickster.
Let's start the attack.
Trickster who isn't Yuri is invalid.
I'll give it 1000%. Leave everything to me.
I've got to take a breather.
I think that worked.
You're done!
The story of this game does in fact remain its weakest point. So some of the writing choices might certainly have been a thing.
Not a problem.
But hey,
I've got this.
I'm entertained if nothing else.
Not a problem. I've got this.
We're
fine, but please help the others.
At my feet. Beg forgiveness.
Oh, hello. Great!
Not a problem.
We need to move fast. Attack!
Working on it.
Just do as I planned. I shall take it from here.
Leave it.
It's a net time.
It's not over. This stronghold will fall.
Oh, I love getting late game paralogues with units I haven't used at all. Makes my life so much easier, she says. Not meaning it at all.
This will take but a moment with me here.
Is that everyone?
Allow me.
Thank the goddess we were able to save them.
Here it comes. Out of the way. You're done.
We need to get these people out of here. I can't use my magic with them around.
Follow us. We're getting out of here.
Oh, it's not. Oh no! Escort mission!
Shall we? I'll provide us.
I'll give it 1000%. I'll back you up.
Just do as I planned. I shall provide support.
Well, this is going to end horribly, isn't it?
We must ensure these people don't get caught up in Constance's magic.
And where do you ladies think you're going with our prison?
Take it! No, we're cut off.
Leave all to me. Get the villagers to safety while I show these ruffians the power of my new and brilliant spell.
Just don't hit any civilians, all right?
My ultimate, multifaceted, multifarious magical menagerie! I feel drained. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up.
Still improving.
Again, is
Just you
Constance's
wait.
spell actually
I'll catch up to you
doing
in
anything?
no time.
I don't know that it is, but okay.
Here it comes. Take this. You're done.
No! I'm losing control of the spell! Oh, this is a disaster! Look out, everyone!
Great!
Constance, no!
Oh, good.
What the? I'm getting pulled in!
Constance, stop! You're gonna kill everybody!
It was close, but I managed to stop it.
You started it! Great.
Not a problem. I've got this.
Just do as I planned. I shall take it a fine choice.
Someone help me!
Yeah, I'm working on it, mate.
I'll give it 1,000%. I'll give it 1,000%. I'll back you up.
Well, couldn't hurt. I've got. Take a breather. Here it comes! You're done! This stronghold will fall!
Right, that's something.
Here it comes! Out of the way! You're done! Not a problem. I've got this.
Leave every. Let me at him.
Damn it, why did I take away your healing?
I'll give it 1,000%.
Good grief.
I'll back you up.
It is I, your local idiot.
Not a I'm here to help.
Shall we? I'll provide assistance.
I shall take it from here.
Actually, I'll be Shell for now. Until the mages have swapped places.
My turn.
Good grief, Mercy's moving slowly. At least the village is nearly gone.
Not a problem. I've got this. Not a problem. I've got this.
I shall take it from a fine choice. Ha! Ti, ta, sa, ya, ta, si, ta, ya, ti, ta.
This stronghold will fall.
Just do. I shall take it from.
I can go. Yes, this should help.
Ooh, okay, that's something.
Grant me strength, dear goddess. This is it.
I won't lose.
Just do as I planned. I shall take
I've got my turn. Not a problem. I've got this.
Leave every. Let me at him! Ha! I've gotta do this! You're finished! This is it! Ha! No backing down! Ha! Here goes! Over! I've gotta do this! This is it! I'll back you up. A fine choice. See, this stronghold will fall.
I'll not falter.
Just do as I plan. I shall provide support.
I've got to take a breather. Here it comes!
Hopefully this will be the end of this one. I know I haven't done much commentary, but this brief it has not been the easiest. Alright, villagers, get in there.
Now we can escape.
Then let's get out of here. Which way was the exit again?
Are we done? Yeah! Whew, I hate escort missions.
See? That wasn't so bad.
I mean, we know this, but I really do.
I think the sun is going to be up soon.
No! How'd this happen?
Quite the stroke of ill luck for you that we happened upon your vile and wicked deeds.
Don't get too worked up, Constance. You must be tired from all that spell casting, no?
You want a snack? I brought plenty just in case.
Oh, my dear Mercedes and Annette. I so appreciate your concern for my well-being. As you well know, the three of us never got a chance to study together at the School of Sorcery. But if we had, I like to think it would have gone just like this.
So you three went to the same school in Ferdiad?
We did indeed, although Constance was a year ahead of us.
Anyway, I'm glad we got to see your new magic up close, Constance. What a treat.
But we're not finished yet, Annette. I still have need of your assistance. Your creative mind will be indispensable for putting the finishing touches on my magic.
Please don't put it all on Annie. I'd be glad to help too.
Truly? Oh, but this fills me with joy!
Seems like at least this phase of the test run worked out in the end, yeah?
Yes, I was able to pinpoint the spell's current shortcomings, which means it was an extremely fruitful endeavor indeed.
Shortcomings? Your magic was incredible. We'd be dead in a ditch right now if not for you.
I'm still not convinced it actually did anything, but sure.
Perhaps, although if there is one thing everyone knows, it's that I am never satisfied. And once I get my hands on another gemstone, the next step is to increase its precision and oh dear.
Oh no, is it that time already?
The sun's coming up. We have to get Constance into the shade at once.
Oh, there's no need to waste your energies on a sad little thing such as myself. I'm just happy you deigned to humor this crude experiment of mine. Alas, I can but offer my humble service as payment. If there are any menial or demeaning tasks that you need performed, you have but to ask.
Too late.
So this is why she wanted to do it at night.
Yes, it's as if she becomes a completely different person depending on the lighting. But either way, Constance is always a dear friend to me.
Yeah, it was sort of confusing at first, but I've really grown to like this flavor of Constance.
Your kind words are far more than I deserve.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm exhausted. And the only thing that's gonna help is a nice, cozy bed.
Good idea. Let's rest up today and get right back at it tomorrow.
Well, I guess that was cute in its own way. I am going to do a couple of supports while we're here, though, because why not?
Never thought we'd get the chance to fight side by side again. It was a total surprise, to be honest. But I'm actually pretty happy with how things shook out. I know. You're still as cold as ice, you know that? Would it kill you to say you're happy to see me or something? Sorry to disappoint. Nah, I actually kinda missed it. Besides, that's just how you are. So, what have you been up to since you left the Knights?
I spent some time in Leicester as a mercenary. Not many people know me there. But you already knew that. You sent for me, didn't you?
You mean back at the battle at Arian Road, right? Actually, the Knights were just throwing my name around to recruit all the mercenaries they could. I had no idea you'd be one of them.
Huh. So it really was just a coincidence. What about you? Still serving as Rhea's sword?
Lady Rhea. I'll let that slide since you're not a Knight of Saros anymore. But to answer your question, yes. No matter who I'm swinging it at, my sword will always belong to her. Honestly, I was surprised to hear you'd slipped away after repaying your debt to Lady Rhea. You didn't even say goodbye. I was furious.
I guess sneaking out was the right call then.
I was running around, shouting that I'd drag you back to Garreg Mach and kill you myself. But then Lady Rhea took me to task. She said it wasn't fair for me to impose the Church's values on someone who wasn't from Fodlan.
Good grief, Rhea being semi-reasonable for once. That never happens.
Sounds like I owe her another one.
For what? I wasn't really going to kill you.
I'll take your word for it. You know, I fought alongside a lot of people since I left, but you're still the only one I trust to have my back.
So what you're really saying is that you missed me and wish you never left?
You basically said the same yourself, didn't you? But yes, I did miss you. I didn't think I'd ever see you again. For once, I'm glad I was wrong.
Would you look at that? You have changed. And I feel the same. Really. I couldn't ask for a better partner than you. But if you disappear on me again, so help me, I really will hunt you down.
Then the next time I go somewhere, I'll just have to drag you with me.
Why are they such a good ship? Their supports are always excellent. Anyway, who else have we got?
There you are, Iggy.
What is it, Happy?
Here, for you.
Thank you.
I love it!
Did you draw this?
I sure did. What do you think?
It's really good. Even better than I'd expect.
Wow, that's kind of a roast, Ignatz.
Really?
Yes. I feel the raw energy coming from each of your powerful pen strokes.
Happy to hear it. So, what can I do to make it better?
Let's see. Well, I suppose it might be nice to add a little greenery to the background. The subject is very well drawn, so you can fill the background with color and it will still stand out.
Greenery? Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, and maybe you could add some flowers? With a few more details, you can expand your world and really bring out the majesty and mystery of nature.
But I don't really need any of that stuff, do I? I mean, that's not the vibe I'm going for.
Oh, sorry. Yes, prioritizing the impression of the subject as it is now is equally important. Your deer was just so well drawn that I guess I ended up including things that I personally like.
Wait, you said deer. What deer?
The deer right there. The one that's pretty much the entire subject of the drawing?
I didn't draw a deer.
Then what's the brown thing?
So that's what it looks like, huh? It was supposed to be a guy. Guess I'm bad at this.
That's not true at all. I mean,
Look, you drew me before, so I guess it inspired me to try my hand at it. But it looks like I'm no good. So it's probably time to hang up my paintbrush.
No, wait! I can teach you. You can't give up on art just because I didn't understand your work.
Well, if you say so, I guess I'll keep going.
Okay. So, who is this a picture of?
It's you, Iggy.
Huh? Sorry, did you say me?
Did the green hair and glasses not give it away?
Wait, so what are these horns?
Those are your glasses, obviously.
That's what those are? Oh, I did it again. I'm so sorry.
Still a crime that he never got an Earth-based support with Bernie, but I guess it is what it is.
Ignatz! I've been looking all over for you.
Oh, hello, Sylvain. Do you need something?
Yeah, I actually... Oh, were you painting? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. What can I do for you?
Actually, I was hoping you could take a look at this painting I brought back last time I was home.
This style is rarely seen in Fargus. It might be the work of an Imperial painter.
Agreed. I don't think I've seen this style of brushwork used much in the kingdom. My father's first wife was an Imperial noble, so maybe it was hers?
I never knew that. Still, it's quite stunning.
I know, right? That lady's really something.
I didn't mean the woman herself. Though, of course, she's lovely too. The features of her face suggest such kindness. She actually resembles Lady Rhea in a way.
Did Sylvain just say that a painting of Rhea is hot?
The thing is, I have no idea who she is or if she even exists in real life.
Is that why you came to me? To see if I could uncover her identity?
Pretty much. I really love this thing, so it's been bugging me for years. I thought maybe you could finally scratch the itch for me. I mean, everybody knows you're the go-to guy for anything related to art.
Well, I'll do what I can, but please try not to get your hopes up. There's still a great deal I don't know. Though I must admit, my curiosity has been piqued as well.
Oh, really? Thanks. I wouldn't have the first clue about how to go about this on my own. I mean, I'd at least have something to go on if it was a religious painting. But us kingdom folk pretty much only care about fighting, you know? And our art books are, well, let's just say they're lacking, and leave it at that.
Yes, I'm well aware. Sadly, while religious art has continued to thrive and grow, the same can't be said for its secular counterparts. I do get the impression that this portrait may actually be related to the Church of Saros, though.
You think? I don't know. I haven't noticed any of the usual elements of a Saros composition.
As I'm sure you know, paintings of legendary and sacred figures all share a certain pattern, which is to say they're frequently depicted with their associated symbols.
Yeah, like Saint Saros with swords and Saint Sethaline with fish. But I don't see anything even close to that here.
Oh, I love that they just paint Sethaline with hecking fish everywhere.
Look at the birds. Don't they seem strangely prominent to you?
I guess, now that you mention it. Okay, so who was associated with birds? Saint Macule, maybe? No, Saint Macule was a guy. This is nothing like how he's usually depicted either.
I didn't expect you to be so knowledgeable, Sylvain. No offense. To be honest, I always thought the two of us lived in entirely different worlds.
Come on. You should know me better than that. I'm the biggest art connoisseur in all of Fargus. Though, I admit, at first I only studied it to impress the ladies.
Sorry. I guess we still live in different worlds after all.
Quality.
Need something?
I have been noticing that you are going out of your way to be helping me. Even more than the others. Why is this?
You're a foreign queen. Neglecting you would reflect poorly on His Majesty.
You do not need to be worrying. I possess skill at adapting. Before, I was thinking Fargus was too cold. But now, I have become adapted to it.
Good.
But I am experiencing a problem. I still have struggles with the language of Fodlan. Perhaps you can be teaching me?
Me? Teach you the language?
Yes. I know the tongue of Duscur also has many differences from Fodlan's, but you speak as if this is your land of home.
You give me too much credit.
I am spending my days with native speakers just like you. And I am always studying with hardness, but you are still surpassing me in this language. How did you become this way?
His Majesty taught me. He felt it unproductive to communicate in broken sentences, so we spent years teaching each other.
Oh, I love that Dimitri learned the language of Duscur as well.
An exchange of languages. That idea is a wonderful one. If Dimitri found success teaching you, maybe you can be doing the same for me. Do we have agreement?
Why me?
You said that Dimitri is not wanting me to be neglected. Not being able to convey my feelings is giving me great sadness. It is making me feel frustration and loneliness.
Ah.
When I was first in Fodlan, I could not be saying anything in this language. Whenever Edelgard was speaking to me, I could only be staring back at her with big, confused eyes. Then I decided to be studying on my own. But the nobles were laughing and saying my words were ugly.
It was the same for me, but His Majesty was always close. If ever I struggled with a word, he would teach me.
But I was a hostage. I was without such a teacher. Until today. Now I am having you.
I suppose you do.
No, I liked that one. This should be good.
Your Majesty, you will take ill if you keep sleeping at your desk.
Mm-hmm. Do? Oh, I've done it again. Yes, well, thank you for waking me and sparing my poor neck any further damage.
You sounded pained. Is everything all right?
Dreaming of the past again, I fear.
The tragedy?
No. The day I returned to the capital afterward. Do you remember the child who cursed me after my father's funeral?
Oh, yes. I believe he was the son of a knight who fell in Dusker.
He was furious that I would not take revenge on your people, and even more enraged to see you serving as my vassal. He berated me without mercy, demanding I kill you then and there. All I could do was walk away. Everyone desires revenge for that day. Survivors and the dead alike cry out for retribution.
I know, Your Majesty.
I seek to fulfill the duty they have given me, and have never once flinched from it. And yet, to do. If I were mortally wounded and begged with my dying breath for you to avenge me, what would you do?
I would do it, even at the cost of my life.
And if I told you to forget me, and live for your own happiness?
I would regretfully decline. I cannot know happiness without you by my side.
You can't just say stuff like that. That's adorable.
I would still seek vengeance. Just for my own sake, not yours.
Interesting. And nothing I say to the contrary will change your mind?
Your Majesty, can you not live for your own sake?
My life is not my own. It belongs to my kingdom, my people, and the dead. But had I been born to a different fate, well, perhaps I would have traveled outside Fodlan with you as a mercenary. Or perhaps I'd be a farmer. I confess the thought does sound rather delightful.
Surely you could still tread those paths.
It was a jest to do. I merely said the first thing that came to mind. I am driven by matters on which I cannot permit myself to yield. I hope you understand that.
Well then, all the more reason to get some proper rest. If work remains, I will aid you. If you have difficulty sleeping, I will lend you my ear. But seeing you slumped over at your desk disturbs me. Every time, I fear death has come for you in the night.
Death will never sneak up on me as long as I remain under your watchful attention.
Your Majesty, please.
Though, if I were to die and leave you alone, the aftermath would be horrendous. I suppose I will heed your advice. Just this once.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
How are they so good? What the heck? I'm kind of obsessed.
Here you go, Cully. As promised.
This feels a little light. You run into trouble moving the merchandise?
Sure did. With all the fighting lately, even the noble folk are getting real selective about who they do business with.
Well, nothing to be done for that. Our competitors certainly won't back down, so we can't afford to either. I'll think of something. Might involve crossing a dangerous bridge or three, but we'll work it out.
I'm pretty sure he went... Huh? Yuri?
Well, if it isn't Ash. You seem out of breath. Am I really so charming?
Did you see someone suspicious come this way? I was chasing them down, but I lost them.
Ah, you must be referring to my lackey.
Your lackey? Wait, what is that you're holding?
Oh, just various proceeds from this and that. But I'll not say more. Especially not in front of a royal knight like you.
Dirty money, is it?
Coin is coin. Whatever grime it may bear always washes clean in the end.
You know, I've been biting my tongue on this for a while, but I don't think it's right to earn money the way you do. You're so much smarter than me. You could do anything if you put your mind to it. There's no need to resort to cheating and hurting people to turn a profit.
Are you seriously trying to lecture the Lord of the Underworld? Oh, that's adorable. No one makes it through this life with clean hands. You should know that better than anyone. Sometimes you have to resort to just the most terrible things imaginable in order to feed your family. Am I right?
How do you know about my past? I've never told anyone.
No, I don't know. Perhaps I heard it from Count Rowe. Or maybe even Lord Lenato. The sins we commit follow us until our dying day, my friend.
I know that. But even so,
Well, I'm a bit busy, so you work that out while I walk away. Bye then.
Yuri's such a savage. I love him.
Yuri. No, I won't turn my back on you.
Those two for awkward brothers taking over the Rowe/Lenato territory is still yes. Anyway, that's that, so I guess I'll leave this episode here. Thank you for watching, and until next time, which I vaguely fear, goodbye.